welcome back. I hope you had a good week. We are going to do Daniel part 5 now. This is the last part in the Daniel story and I'm excited to share it with you. So let's get comfy in those seats and let's start Daniel part 5. So this story is called Danger in the Lion's Den. Darius the Mede became king after Belshazzar. He liked Daniel, but everyone else was out to get him. Daniel was a good governor, and King Darius wanted to put him in charge of the whole of Babylon. This made all the other officials very jealous, so they tried to get Daniel into trouble with the king. But Daniel was honest and worked very hard, so this was a hard thing for them to do. They tricked the king into making a law that for 30 days people could pray only to the king. They knew that Daniel prayed to God every day and wanted him to get eaten by the lions as a punishment for breaking the new law. Despite the danger he was in, Daniel prayed to God 3 times every day, thanking him for his goodness. The jealous officials reported him to the king, insisting that Daniel be punished and thrown into the lions. King Darius was horrified because he knew Daniel was a good man, but even a king could not change the law of the Medes and Persians once it was made. So Daniel was thrown into a den of hungry, vicious lions. A big stone was put in front of the lion's cave so Daniel could not escape. All night long, King Darius lay awake, worrying about Daniel and hoping that his God was strong enough to save him. Next morning, he hurried to the den and called out, "Daniel, Daniel, did your God save you from the lions?" "God sent an angel to stop the lions from eating me because he knew I'd done the right thing. I'm perfectly safe," replied Daniel. King Darius ordered that Daniel should be set free and the jealous officials thrown into the lions instead. Wow, so in that story, Daniel was just being true to himself and still praying to God and still doing everything that he would normally do, and there was jealous people that tried to plot against him, and with Daniel being true to God, he got then thrown into the den of lions. But again, God saved Daniel from those lions, and it's just amazing how God honours Daniel and looks after him. And it's because Daniel has choices, and each time he chose God and not what was happening in the world or where he was. He chose God and did the right thing and the honourable thing, and God then used him as a witness and honoured him and looked after him, which is just amazing, and he can do the same for us. So now we're going to do a craft and we're going to recap everything that we've learned about Daniel. So let's go and do that now. So, the first part of our story, remember, was that vegetables are good for us. So, we'll draw some vegetables. You can draw whatever vegetables you want. The next part of the story was King Nebuchadnezzar's bad dream. Of a big statue, remember? It was a big statue. And then you've got, remember the big fire that Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego were put into, and it was very, very, very hot. So we'll draw the fire. 3 friends that went into the fire, but there was another person there who was there to look after them. And then the fourth one was the writing on the wall with the hand. The hand that had no arrows. And the last part of our story was Daniel. He was in the lion's den. Each of these parts of the story, Daniel had a choice, and his friends had a choice, and they could either choose to worship and serve God, or choose to worship and serve the world. And we have choices too, and they might be hard and they're not easy, but God's way is always the best. I hope you enjoyed doing the craft and enjoyed Daniel's story as much as I have this past 5 weeks. And I hope you have a lovely week again next week, and that you stay safe. And I'll see you all next week for a whole new story. So, bye everyone.